nikajaliwa nikawa ni mkuu wa kitengo cha nidhamu, head of discipline. Nimefanya huko kazi zaidi ya miaka 10, karibu miaka 10 kama sijakosea. Lakini mheshimiwa, nilikuwa na wasiwasi, maana nilikuwa naona wenzangu ambao wako na shahada wanapata mshahara mkubwa, mimi ambaye nilikuwa na diploma tu nilikuwa napata mshahara mdogo. Na isitoshe nikaona nikiendelea hivyo sitoweza kuhakimu mwanangu. Mwishowe nikajiandikisha katika chuo kikuu cha Nairobi pale Parklands. Nikaanza kuwa ni mwenye kusoma. Mimi nilikuwa mwanzo ile ilikuwa inaitwa self-sponsored students 1999. Nikajiunga sasa kusomea kazi ya wanasheria. Nalipia wanangu karo mchana, najilipia mwenyewe, na usiku naenda kusoma. Kwa sababu ya matatizo haya kanichukua muda mrefu, lakini Mungu ni mkubwa, nikamaliza, nikawa nimefuzu, nikaenda Kenya School of Law, nikapata diploma, postgraduate diploma, na nikawa ni mwenye sasa kuwa wakili kamili. Kwa hivyo miaka yangu mingi nimefunza. Baada ya hapo nikajiunga na chuo kikuu cha Uswizi, nikawa nafanya masters katika business administration, nikajaliwa nikafanya doctorate katika global business management, na ikawa sasa nafunza kama mhadhiri wa sheria. Lakini pendo langu kubwa na wakili. Kwa hivyo kazi ninayofanya leo na kazi ya wakili, na ndio maana mara nyingi tumekutana mahakamani tukilumbana kisheria. Naomba nifikie hapo, kaka mwenyekiti.
Very good. Thank you so much. I think that is elaborate in Kiswahili. We will now open the floor, and unfortunately we have to ask you questions in English, and a few of us are going to ask, not all of us, because the questions may be cross-cutting. But two questions from me. Number one, what experience do you have in the field of electoral processes which makes you suitable to sit as a commissioner of IEBC? What is it that you would point out to be outstanding to make you qualify for that position? Number two, there are mamas out there that in fact you've been an outstanding lawyer for the party known as ANC. I think it doesn't exist anymore. They folded up and joined merged with another party, and now you are a new entity. And how been such a standing advocate for that party, you've now been sent to gatekeep for the party in the IEBC. Nothing goes. What is your response to that concern from citizens that you are going to be a gatekeeper for your party because you are an advocate for that party for a long time? Thank you. Honorable Vice Chair. Honorable Mogaka.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, and must declare that the advocate is known to me, but I will not be conflicted in any manner. Two, one clarification first. In the oral presentation, the nominee says he studied law between 1999 and 2003, but the submitted records show 1998 to 2003. For Hansard, may he confirm which is correct. Number two, in his call of duty, he appears to have been a member of a presidential task force of some form. Which presidency was that, Chair? And concomitant with that, he declares that he is a member of UDA party. And my question is, if UDA party were to contest or present a candidate in the 2027 election, and UDA won. Does the nominee think that Kenyans will accept those results and not deem him to be a player as well as a referee at the same time? And then very finally, and this is off record, why is he working to be in the commission and not on the ballot? Thank you.
Thank you. That's a good one to be. The next person is Honorable Makali.
Thank you.
Honorable Makali.
Oh, Honorable Makali.
Okay, Chair. Thank you, Chair. Dr. Alutalala, I think I want to bring you one of the serious commentators on issues of governance on TV. One of the critical issues that conflict first elections in Kenya is trust deficit in the commission, the people who are conducting the elections. If we get you appointed, what are you going to do to ensure that there is trust in the commission so that the elections in Kenya can be fair, accurate, verifiable, and credible? Two, as a lawyer, one of the key things the commission is supposed to do is to do delimitation of boundaries, which is the elephant in the room. Right now, we are past the period for doing delimitation of boundaries. Some of the bigger constituents like mine, people are campaigning and saying boundaries are going to be limited. What are you going to do once you get this particular commission to ensure that boundaries are delimited? Thank you.
Very much, Honorable Vice Chair.
Thank you, Chairman. Dr. Alutalala.
Thank you, sir.
One of the biggest issues that has been coming from the past management of our elections has been the issue of ethical behavior of staff and commissioners, in the sense that some are biased, and as well that in the overall procurement and administration there has been perceptions of corruption, such that electoral budgets are inflated because of corruption. So I would want you, number one, having had represented the party called ANC and his party leader, if the party leader of ANC was to be a presidential candidate, how will you behave? Number two, what are you going to do in terms of sealing corruption loopholes at IEBC?
Right. Thank you so much, Moses. Honorable Tienda, ask only one question, please.
Yes. I'd like the Secretariat to give you a copy of the Constitution. Give him a copy of the Constitution.
No, what, just repeat it, sir.
There is documented, there are in fact active cases of corruption at IEBC formally.
Yes.
So if this committee approves you and Parliament approves you and finally you are appointed to be a commissioner of IEBC, what practical steps will you take, measures to seal corruption loopholes at IEBC?
Thank you. Yes, Senior.
Please, the final one.
Mukhwana, I'd like you to look at Article 166. If you just open it, 166. Actually, no, 163. Sorry, 166.3. It appears to me from your documents that you finished at the Kenya School of Law in 2013. And from your documents, you say you've been a member of the Law Society from 2014. You have not included your certificate of admission. I suppose then it means you admitted in 2014. That then means you're an advocate of 11 years standing. Under Article 166(3), you require at least 15 years experience, either as a distinguished academic, judicial officer, legal practitioner, or such experience in other relevant legal field. I'd like you to persuade us, or at least persuade me, on how you meet those qualifications of 15 years under Article 166(3)(b). Thank you.
Let's look at the sections, all of us, the articles together, so that we don't also. I think let's start with with 88, so that he's able to answer and we don't. 88 states as follows. For the a person is not eligible for appointment as a member of the commission if the person has at any time in the preceding 5 years held office or stood for election as a member of parliament or a member of county assembly or a member of governing body or holds any state office. A member of the commission shall not hold office, public office. No, a member of the commission shall not hold any other public office. Where is the qualification?
Chair, actually on that issue also, on the question you had raised, Chair, I think that the rider to that is on 88(2)(a), Roman 2, because you say that you are legal advisor to ANC. I think as you are responding, also just indicate that you are not a member of the governing body.
I want to where do I find qualification for members? Constitution.
Yes.
The Act, where is the Act? Let's read the Act.
Composition. This for chairperson, right?
No, members, please.
Okay. It's here.
Qualification for appointment as chairperson or member of the commission. The chairperson of the commission shall be a person who is qualified to hold the office of a judge of the Supreme Court under the Constitution. A person is qualified for appointment as a member of the commission if such a person holds a degree from a recognized, has proven knowledge in the following matters that are set out over there. Now,
At least 10 years.
where is it? Where is it? At least 10 years?
Where is it then? Yes.
Has proven knowledge and at least 10 years experience in any of the following fields. Among the many of them is number 6, which is law, 10 years. All right, I think that one we've tried to sort it out. Okay, very quickly, go through the other questions one by one, precise, concise, and brief.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Sir, the first question which came from the Honorable Chair of this committee is what experience do I have in election processes, which then would make me disposed to assuming the position of the member of this commission. Number one, I'm a proven educator. A IEBC requires not only those who have been there and worked there, but requires people who can learn on their feet, educate the Kenyans, and be able to get the numbers of our young people out there to vote. I'm a consummate educator, rose on my knees, but thank God I'm here. So I bring education. Number two, communication. If you read the Carter Center report of 2017, exit report of 2017 election, Part of the tensions that were witnessed in the country were blamed on the fact that the IEBC announced results before completion of the entire process without communicating to the public that it was okay to do so under the law, but most importantly, that once those main results come, they'll be made public. So I bring my ability and capacity to communicate. Honorable Chair, one great business guru said, if you do anything without marketing it, you are like a guy who is winking at a very beautiful lady, but in pitch darkness. She will never know you winked and you'll never find a headway. So IEBC must develop marketing strategies to market the commission, and that I have. Thank you.
Next question.
The next question again was from the Chair, Honorable Chair. Thanks for the good remarks that have been an outstanding advocate for the ANC party, and therefore there are insinuations that have been brought here to get keep. And I'll tie that with what my learned senior has alluded to, whether my presence in ANC has anything that would bar me from this position. Far from it. I was the lawyer for ANC in my capacity as a professional lawyer and a consultant. I still appear for ANC until when it wound up the other day. I was placed in charge of the winding up process because I am the consultant to the party. I'm not a member of the organ of ANC party, which in any event, it is now defunct and it's not an issue at the moment. I thank you. Honorable Chair, even animals in the jungle will tell you that one time they had an interaction with this other animal and this other animal. It is unusual that you'll have a nominee here who has never met anyone in the political field, never known anyone, and therefore he has just fallen from mass. My association with the ANC party has been part of my mentorship as a lawyer. They gave me an opportunity to practice law as their consultant, and that is what I did. I do not think that it would be very fair for that to be used against me, because again, Chair, I've learned that even those who say you'll not do a good job, when they come this side, others will say the same thing. So many times it is not a very fair perception, but we are humans. We must take them in stride. That is in answer to the questions from the Honorable Chair. The Honorable Mogaka.
Just go to governing. You are a member of the governing party.
I've already responded and said I was an ANC lawyer. I practice as a lawyer. That's how I earn my living. And for ANC, I have been the lawyer for the party in my professional capacity. I have not been an occupant in any political organ or governing organ of the party. The Honorable Mogaka, the Honorable Member from Nyamira, thank you for the very kind words. You say that the dates I've indicated as a university are conflicting. That has been my story. Even when I joined the University of Nairobi, actually I enrolled in 1999, but I could not even get going until those dates that are indicated on that particular one. And for your information, if you look at my certificates, the transcript, they came way later. Because whereas those who were lucky to have the money and pay, they graduated way earlier than me. I graduated way later. So there is no material conflict. It's just the story of my troubled childhood and upbringing. But it's a journey I'm proud to say I went through. Presidential Task Force. The Presidential Task Force that I have been a member is the one that deals with the presidential task force for addressing human resources for health. You know, there's been a big problem in the medical, with our hospitals, in the Ministry of Health. So I got the favor of His Excellency the President of the Republic to be a member of the Presidential Task Force. And that which has since been injuncted by Parliament and is not moving. Actually, it has been stopped, although there is an appeal. So yes, I was appointed, but as we speak, nothing's happening because there is a court ruling against it. A member of UDA...
May I interject on that presidential?
Yes, Honorable Mogaka.
I just wanted clarity whether the president that appointed into that task force is Dr. William Ruto, and therefore, in the event Dr. William Ruto is a candidate in a presidential or any other election, will he be conflicted, or will Kenyans trust is referring from IEBC? Because that is the material thing. Thank you.
Very good. Confirm to that
the president,
when it was.
The president saw something useful that I could add to the nation. I don't think he chose me so that if he stands for election.
Which president? Uhuru Kenyatta.
His Excellency, the President, Dr. William Samoei Ruto, the current President of the Republic, saw something useful in my capacity and appointed me to be a member of that presidential task force. I do not think that where he sits, with profound respect, he expects that if I get this job, I will not work in accord with the dictates of the Constitution and the law just because he gave me a job. From where I sit, I've done a good job there, I'll do a good job there. If I had done a bad job at the ANC party, as they've mentioned, I'm sure not have landed at the task force, because people always get these referrals. Even Jesus Christ in the Bible asked his disciples for feedback, and he asked, who the people say I am? So without a good feedback, nobody will touch you. But the fact that someone has touched you, he has been graceful to give you a job, does not mean that now when you get this other job, you will therefore not do the job correctly because you benefited from his favor. That is stretching generosity a bit too far.
May I kindly go to the next questions?
The Honorable Mogaka had said, what if UDA fields a presidential candidate and then wins? Will Kenyans believe the result just because I have benefited from His Excellency the President's appointment? First of all, belonging to a party and exercising political rights is a constitutional right under Article 38. So whoever comes here then has exercised that right. You either belong to Jubilee Party, you belong to ODM, you belong to UDA, or any other party. But the important thing is that now, if God gives these honorable members the grace to recommend that I get the job, what is my standing as far as the political party is concerned, and how does that impact my performance as a commissioner? That is the question we're talking about. And from where I sit, I'll do the work because that is why I will have been given that work. Honorable Mogaka, you say why join the commission, not politics, not the ballot. I'm not sure where that came from. I didn't see it coming. Mwenyezi Mungu ni Mwenyezi Mungu wa majira, na maisha binadamu huenda kwa majira yake. Majira ya sasa ni kwamba naomba kazi. Nikijaliwa nipewe, hii ndio nitashukuru. Kama Mwenyezi Mungu atanipa ruhusa wakati mwingine kwamba niingie sasa hilo ni lake Mola, si langu. Lakini asante kwa maoni mazuri.
Yeah, he's just perceived. He's listened to you, examined you, and eventually he's concluded possibly should be running for an elective position and not going for IEBC commission. That's where he wanted you to confirm really where do you fit best.
For now, I'm looking for this job, and I request your favor. The Honorable Makali, my senior brother in legal practice from Kandui, Musikoma Primary School, you see there is a trust deficit. Kwamba wa Kenya hawaamini IEBC. Si kwamba Kenya hayaamini IEBC, ni kwamba wa Kenya hawaaminiani wenyewe kwa wenyewe. Zamani babangu walikuwa wananionya, zamani walikuwa naambiwa chungeni wanyama wa mwitu ukitembea barabarani, watawakula. Siku hizi ananiambia kwamba babangu Java ni yungali hai Lamin, anasema kwamba siku hizi ogopa binadamu mwenzako, na nitaongezea ogopa Mkenya mwenzako. Kwa shida si IEBC. We must address the bigger problem. But But for the interest of time, allow me, the Honorable Chair, sir, just to give what I think would be a first step in addressing this problem. The biggest problem in our election patterns has been that there is this perception that the bigger ethnic communities will gang up and they'll have it all. And why is it that those who are more in numbers indeed have done that? It is because the electoral system we have allows it. What is our electoral system? It is a majoritarian system, as opposed to the proportional representation system. A majoritarian system simply says, kwa sababu tutasema wengi wape, usipowapa watachukua kwa wingi wa mikono yao. That is what the majoritarian system says. So in Kenya, as long as you know that in our place our mothers have worked very hard and therefore we are many, and you look at the other side where mothers have also done a good job and they are many, you don't care about the other smaller ones. And why should you? Because you just need 50 and then you add 1. So if I can go to one region and get 30% of the population, just by going to the leaders of that region, and go to another and get 20, why should I bother the small tribes? So the problem is not because IEBC has an inherent problem. The problem is because the ecosystem within which IEBC is operating is faulty. Why don't we try the party list system of election, where you have an election system that provides that we will vote on the basis of parties. For example, Party X will present the list of their leaders in order of priority and the party. Party X, Party Y, and so forth. So when we go to the elections, you are looking at the party, number one. When you elect that party, if in the election the party gets 40% of the votes, it takes 40% of government. If another party gets 20%, it takes 20% of government. Therefore, this mad rush for numbers in particular communities will dissipate. Number two, because there is a list of the leaders of Party X, we'll solve the problem of the gender parity that we're struggling with. We are unable to solve it. Because the citizen will look at the party which has complied with the two-thirds gender rule, PWD, marginalized, and even know who will become the minister if that party wins. That way also, you are sure that by casting your vote, you are casting to the right party. The majoritarian system...
Nominee, it's a good proposal.
Yes.
And for purposes, you are aware that will require a constitutional amendment.
Yes. Because the question, this issue of trust deficit has been an anathema in this country. And I wasn't following what others have been asked, but I guess they also must have been asked trust deficit. So there are many angles to the trust deficit. What I'm proposing is just one way of looking at it, but there are many others. Okay, we also have not behaved well as Kenyans. It is possible that things have not been right at one time. But it is not a question you can answer in one straight answer in this kind of session, Honorable Makali.
So in your view, is the ecosystem which...
Correct.
Okay.
It is the political ecosystem that we have to reconfigure.
So Chair, sorry. Then if you become a commissioner, there's nothing you can do about it.
Honorable Dawood, every great thing has happened in life has begun by talking. By talking, by presenting these views, I'm encouraging a discussion around it. This will not be for IEBC. This is a national conversation that we would like one time somebody would run with it. It is not that I'll do nothing. Of course, as an IEBC commissioner, you can only recommend. That's why you have been put there. Look at the flash points. Give recommendations to parliamentarians because they are the ones who represent the people of Kenya. IEBC is a state organ. But the people who represent the citizens and the voters of this country are these ladies and gentlemen here who will then be tasked with this conversation.
Thank you. Is that the last question?
Yeah, this is, this was from the Honorable Makali. There's the Honorable Mutuse. Again, my senior brother.
Delimitation, please.
Oh, delimitation.
Yeah.
Look, if, inshallah, we get this exercise through before we are time barred, then something will be done. But I'm aware that there is active litigation out there. So we are not sure what time this may be settled. If we go beyond, because the Constitution says that if we are going to do the boundary delimitation, 12 months must be clear before the implementation. Anything beyond that, it will not work. So it all, my brother, Honorable Makali, it depends on how soon this process will end. If not, we go into a constitutional spin and crisis.
Right. Thank you very much. Is there any other question?
Yes,
that is not
Honorable
answered?
Makali, thank you.
Now, Honorable Mutuse.
Honorable Mutuse, the IEBC staff commissioners have been accused of bias. There is a procurement that has, it's said, it is many times inflated. My senior brother, this country sometimes is hard. It is not easy to say whether indeed those brothers and sisters of ours in the IEBC in the past have been biased. Because what does Article 50 say? The right to fair hearing. Until somebody is adjudged to have been biased, from where I sit as an advocate of the High Court of Kenya, it will not be right for me to say they have been. However, in Kenya we have perceptions, and gossips many times rules in this country. So if you allow me to digress a bit and say that if that is the gossip and procurements have been inflated, it is all about the human nature. The laws are there, you have to do what's right. You're sitting in that chair, you know what to do, you have to do it right. If something happens to you and you decide to do what you want, how will we deal with you? It is the law that will deal with you. And that is why some sages have said that sometimes there are no more devils in hell. They're all here. And one will be tempted to think they're all in Kenya. Because if you have the rules in front of you, that are the procurement rules, the best you can do is to go by them. And if you have a problem going by them, refer to the appointing authority. But I know that there have been problems, and some of them are human problems, some of them are ecosystem problems, like I've said to my brother, Honorable Makali. What if the leader of ANC, we do not have ANC now, but what if members of the ANC participate in elections, say go for presidency, would my presence here be deemed to impact negatively or positively? Look, Alutalala Mukhwana cannot be the commission. There is collegiality in the commission, and decisions of the commission are made at the plenary. In any case, if at one point I should encounter a situation where I feel I'm seriously conflicted as not to render my constitutional duty as a commissioner of IEBC, if I'm favored by these honorable committee members, then I declare conflict and let the decision be made by others. How may I seal corruption? Again, the ecosystem. It is not a story that can be told now before these honorable and distinguished members of JLAC. It is a story that requires a national conversation. The other day somebody asked, why do you say our police officers are corrupt? Do they put the money, do they pick the money from your pocket? It looked crude, but there was a point there that it takes two to tangle. So why is it that we have succumbed? We will say, if you don't do, you're in more trouble. But you can also say, you would rather get into trouble, but right the wrong. It is a difficult conversation. This forum today cannot answer all that. Thank you. Finally, Honorable...
Yes, finally, let him do finally then. Just interjections.
Just to help you on that question, I think you answered my second question. On the first question, just answer it by indicating the date of your admission. That's all you need to indicate.
The date of my admission
Yes.
is 2014. That is when I got the admission. It is in my record, the admission certificate.
All right, thank you.
So I do.
Honorable Mogaka?
Chair, I wanted, as he concludes response to the Vice Chair's remarks, my concern is, and I admire the strong opinion about the ecosystem of our electoral system. My question is, given, rather, in the event we have an overload of lawyers in the commission, is the country risking divergence of opinion and lack of consensus, and therefore a worse than a 2022 situation?
Honorable, thank you.
All right, concluding those remarks.
Yes.
On the finally and sincerely,
when I was
I mean, we were warned, and we are worried about the warning. You are going to preside over that. What is your answer to what yes, it's just asked?
So there seem to be two different ones. He's asking about too much concentration of lawyers in IBC. Did I get it right?
Yes, I say in the event we have an overload of lawyers in the commission with as a strong opinions and observations like yours on the ecosystem and everything else, will the country not land in a worse situation than 2022, where commissioners are singing a discordant band?
Look, it is important to have a position in life, but it is equally important to appreciate positions of others. If you do that, there can be no issue of overload. I was just looking at some of your introductions and noticed there are almost 5 lawyers in this committee. And I wonder whether there has been an overload here compared to your numbers. Oh, they are actually all lawyers. Thank you. So, Council, I do not think that really is a problem as long as
This is the Justice and Legal Affairs Committee. He's talking about IEBC.
Yes, but Justice and Legal Affairs Committee, the issues they handle are not just about the law. I've looked at what you handle. It's beyond the law. So basically,
Chair, we have not heard discordance from JLAC, but we have heard it from IEBC before, and that is why I'm asking. And it is a very serious issue to Kenyans, because in the absence of agreement on what the results from IEBC is, where do we leave this country?
Chairman, thank you very much, Honorable Mogaka. Just for laughs, luckily the split screen did not involve at least one side, the lead of the other side. I don't think that was Council, was? I don't think she was. And so it is safe to have councils around. After all, IBC many times is on a legal drip. Many times.
All your questions, I think you have.
Thank you very much.
All right, the final questions from the committee.
Yes.
Now, these are routine questions on chapter 6, so that we confirm that you're suitable. Number 1, have you been convicted of any criminal offense in your past?
No.
No. And number 2, have you been named as having contravened chapter 6 of the Constitution on ethics? Number 3, which conflict of interest do you have with IEBC? Or are you likely to have any? That which comes into your knowledge?
None, to my knowledge presently. Lakini ya kesho ni ya Mwenyezi Mungu. If it does occur, there is the law.
There is the law which will dictate what you're going to do.
I'm supposed to do. Yes.
All right. Pro bono work? Do you do pro bono work?
Yes. I do a lot. The Honorable Makali talked about my TV. I do a lot of civic education. Both on international media, TV, radio. But I've gone to the villages in vernacular stations, and I do a lot of pro bono civic education on the rights of your rights of arrested persons. What do you do when you have a dispute of land?
Okay.
And I'm huge on that one.
Very good.
Thank you.
Finally, we've heard of the corruption in IEBC. We are alive to it, and you must be cautious so that we monitor how you're going to progress.
Yes.
What is your net worth?
Chairman, that is a question I struggled with when I was asked, because I didn't think I'm worth to be assessed in terms of net worth. But then I took everything that I have, and I'm worth 55,230,000.
55,230,000.
Yeah, and I must say this is family.
It's family.
Yes.
Me
and my wife.
You and your wife.
Yes.
Right. What is your current income?
Well,
what is your current source of income?
Practice.
Practice of law.
Yes, sir.
Any anticipated sources of income in the near future? Apart from, of course, as an advocate, we know of pending bills.
No, yes,
only
pending bills.
Pending fee notes that have to be paid.
Yes, yeah,
all right.
Bills, yeah.
So that must be taken into account. Yes. Thank you so much. Moses, thank you for appearing before us. We conclude the session with you now. Release you to go. You get your original documents back. We aren't giving you our verdict now. As you know, we must report to the House, and the House is going to take the decision itself.
Yes.
Thank you very much for appearing before us.
Honorable Chair, allow me to thank you once again for your time and for the privilege of your audience. Asante sana.